Come on, Jay.
Good morning, everyone. This is our regular February meeting of the Madison County Board of Commissioners. Leading line is Tuesday, February the 22nd, 2022. So that's two. We're meeting at the Westchester Research and Education Center, 605 Airways.
22.
And this is 150 good old Jackson, Tennessee. Appreciate y'all being here today. Looks like an exciting meeting getting ready to take place. It always is. You all rise, Jeff Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we've got Reverend Eric Betty, who's the lead minister at Skyline Church here in Jackson. He moved from Houston, Texas in 2018. He is a native of West Tennessee and grew up here. He's a 97 graduate of Freed-Hardeman University. He's worked in churches in Tennessee, Louisiana, Florida, and wife Stacy, and Lily and Cheney. They enjoy music, playing drums, watching and playing sports, mostly watching these days, and road trips with the family. Reverend Petty, if you would please come and lead us in our invocation this morning.
Thank you. I want to begin this morning with just one verse that my wife reminds me I need to read every day. James chapter 1, verse 19. James says, "Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters, you must all be quick to listen, slow to speak," that's the part she likes, "and slow to get angry." Listening is in many ways a lost art, but if you look at the life and ministry of Christ, Jesus asked a lot of questions that he already knew the answer to. He asked a lame man by a pool who had been lame for 38 years, "Do you want to get well?" He asked a blind man, "What do you want me to do for you?" He told a woman that he knew wasn't married to go get your husband. And yet, he asked these questions, he said these things because Jesus continually, through his ministry, particularly his interaction with people, he taught us the value of listening. So that's my prayer for all of us, not just today, but every day, that we would be quick to listen to one another, even maybe when we already know the answer to the question. Would you bow with me and let's pray? Father, I thank you so much for this day that you have blessed us with. Father, every day is a gift, and help us, God, to find joy in everything that you do for us, Father. Help us, God, to continue to lean on you and to look to you and to model Jesus Christ for other people. To take every opportunity we have, God, to do the right thing and to learn from the example that Jesus left us. Father, I pray that today in particular you help all of us to listen, that you help all of us to respect one another and value one another and listen to each other, God, even when maybe we already know the answer, Father. We thank you so much for the ability to listen, God. We thank you, God, for sending us your word. May we listen every day to how you are speaking to us and all the ways that you speak to us every day. God, we thank you for the gift of your Son who makes all things new, and it's in his name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Alexander. Arnold.
Yes.
Beckham.
Here.
Bond.
Here.
Brantley.
Here.
Brown Claudel.
Here.
Brown Scott. Bryant. Fleet. Here. Compton. Here. Heaton.
Here.
Ellison. Gobble.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Hampton Pearson.
Here.
Johnson Arthur.
Here.
Johnson Barber. Martin.
Here.
Mercer. Montague.
Here.
Petty. Spearman. Stevenson.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Wall.
Here.
21 present, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry, 20 present.
How many?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Damon?
20.
20 present. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes on December 20th meeting and January 18th meeting? Motion by Katie Bradley. Second by Commissioner Wall. Would there be any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Brown.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before we proceed with the agenda for today, can we get an update on Commissioner Petty's health? Our good friend?
Yeah, to my knowledge, he went home. Is that correct?
Yeah, according, Mr. Chairman, according to Ms. Judy's Facebook that she posted this morning, he went home on Friday. So after 5.5 months of being in the hospital / in rehab, he's home. They, to be able to do that, they had to switch all of his IV meds over to oral meds, and so far, so good. He's been tolerating. Judy's being full-time nurse right now for him at home, but he is home in his own bed as of Friday afternoon.
God is good.
He's had a hard way to go.
Yes, yes.
Item number 4, presentation by the county mayor.
We don't have any, Mr. Chairman.
Item number 5, announcement from the chair. Just a reminder, on March the 5th at 5:30, there will be a meeting on the Highway 45 bypass, and that is at the community center out south. I believe that's correct. Is that not right? In Melissa's, right. Item number 6, announcement from School Superintendent, who's not here.
Mr. Deedy, unless Karen has heard otherwise, I'll speak in his absence.
Sure, come on down.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. Last semester, all students in the Jackson-Madison County, public, private, and homeschool, and college were invited to participate in an essay contest, a poetry contest, and an art contest for all students. Students were divided into grade bands for each of the contests. The winners were announced earlier this month. 20 JMCSS schools participated in the contest, with winners coming from 16 schools. Many of them earned cash prizes between $300 and $100. We recognized several of these students at our February school board meeting, including a young man who is a success story in the making at Parkview Prep. Would Desmond Pruitt and Parkview Principal Janet Gore please come forward, along with his teacher? Now, I'll tell you, Desmond placed second in the high school poetry contest. This is significant for several reasons. First, Desmond is a former Liberty Tech student. He was identified by school counselors for the Bridge Blended program. This is for students who have fallen behind obtaining credits, typically due to several issues. Thanks to the support of the faculty and staff at Parkview, Desmond has spent the last 2 years catching up on his credits, improving his attitude along with his communication skills to verbalize his feelings and seek help when needed, something we could all do a little better.
Yes.
After missing out on a 2021 graduation and vowing to drop out, Desmond will graduate in May with a high school diploma from the Jackson-Madison County School System. And is already pursuing job opportunities in manufacturing. He interviewed recently with Kellogg's. He's currently working at Five Guys. In summary, Desmond is an excellent example of what can happen when teachers and administrators have multiple avenues to support students. It's also a perfect example of what students can achieve when they never give up. Thank you, Principal Gore, for your continued support of all of our students. And thank you, Desmond, for making JMCSS stand out. Would you like to read the form? Dad's gonna read his poem now.
The past does matter. Yesterday's tomorrow fades into today, but everything, the happiness and the pain are knowledge gathered. Stand on what's right for the future. We must come together like the railroads of our city, Jackson, Tennessee. Nicknamed the Hub City, our past matters, my past matters. From East Chester to Wallace, the railroads are like a connection to the place where I've been my whole life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Desmond. I'm sure we got a report on the jail.
Yes, sir. Just continuing on, we still got the same target date into March, put security electronics in, testing locks, TV monitors, that type of thing.
Thank you, sir. Item number 8, report from the Jackson Chamber of Commerce.
I'll be brief, just updating you guys. A couple of weeks ago, Bart and I had a meeting talking about just trying to be proactive in the, current and anticipated demands that we'll see on infrastructure. Out of that meeting, we decided to sort of expand that. So this Thursday, Bart, Billy with Southwest, JA, the both mayors, city planning and city engineering are going to get together and just talk about current infrastructure needs, what we anticipate in the future, so we can be proactive in trying to address those as opposed to trying to get something done last minute. We're also working with the city on doing a housing study, sort of look at our current needs, but also anticipated needs with the growth. I think something that's really needed. I told y'all last month that I thought the downtown would slow down a little bit now because so many buildings are sold, and I lied. There's 5 buildings down there pending now, 2 of which are selling for over $1 million, which is pretty significant when you think of downtown and the history of downtown Jackson.
I can remember when you could bought downtown for $1 million.
You probably should have done it. It would have been a good investment. And then lastly, on April 26th at 6 p.m., we'll be partnering with Union University to do a mayoral forum for Madison County, much like we did with the city and the gubernatorial election as well. So just wanted to let you guys know that so you can put it on your calendar.
Thank you, Ryan. Item number 9, report from Laura Nunnery.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here. A couple of things going on. We recently launched the Tennessee Songwriters qualifying round, and that was held at the Tennessee Legends of Music Museum. We had over 20 songwriters that competed for that. Lakeland Lemmings and Hunt Pipkin won, and they are performing at Lafayette Room in Memphis with a chance to go and perform at the Bluebird in Nashville. So we're very excited to have local representation in that competition. Also this week, if you haven't been to the museum lately, we encourage you to come to business after hours. We're partnering with the Chamber on that visit, so please stop by. There'll be a big announcement that I'm not going to tease you with on Thursday evening. Great Wolf Lodge continues to rock and roll. Just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And so we're getting closer on that. And I'm going to say you're welcome. No, it's not really. I'm going to say congratulations to the hoteliers this year. Many of you may not remember that the county commission invested $75,000 in us to do more marketing.
Oh, we remember.
You do? Good. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Last year, the calendar year before we were at, I think 1.48. This year we had a $500,000 increase. So that money has been paid back. Make another investment like that as we continue to move forward. I'm telling you, we were up $500,000 in hotel motel tax collections. That's the 5% that's added to your hotel bill. So when you start to do the backwards math, you understand the impact that has on this community. Not only hotel motel tax collections, but sales tax collections. That's not even taken into consideration. So we paid back our debt. We're looking forward to a new year, and things are really rocking and rolling. We're excited about the Sportsplex getting going. I've heard that they already have a sellout weekend with 12 teams on the waiting list, so that's good news. We have 5 hotels in the pipeline in addition to Great Wolf Lodge. So even though people will be concerned about the amount of rooms that are coming in with Great Wolf Lodge, people are still choosing to invest in Jackson and add more hotel rooms. So I think that's very telling for those folks that are in the business. So it's looking to be a great year, and thank you for all your support. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Anybody have any questions for her? Thank you, you're doing a great job, we appreciate you. Item number 10, report from our finance director, Mrs. Karen Bell.
Just to give two updates quickly, general fund balance, which I have up there on the board for you, is $50,526,252, which puts us at 32.61%. I do want to also draw attention to the capital fund balance, which is $933,453. I want to give you the update on the premium pay. The premium pay and the incentives that went out to public safety totaled $1,763,805.30. And today you're going to approve or review a resolution for Southwest for a request of $150,000, which will leave your federal funding ARPA money down at $17,118,437.70. Additionally, I have a resolution that I believe Mr. Johnson is going to bring up for the school system that we also need to look at today. And Mr.
You want
Johnson,
to do that? Now, do that.
if you want to go ahead and do that, I'll pull it up.
All right, this is a resolution from Dr. King, the school board. Is it up on the board?
Yes, sir.
You want this read?
Go ahead.
All right, whereas federal projects funds grants operate on a reimbursement basis and funds are requested from the state of Tennessee and reimbursable departments for expenditures on a monthly basis, and whereas the federal projects fund operates with a cash deficit at various times throughout the fiscal year due to slow turnaround for reimbursement from the state of Tennessee, and whereas generally accepted accounting principles consider a cash deficit in any fund to be a significant deficiency in internal control, and whereas Madison County does not desire to operate on any fund with a cash deficit, whereas be it resolved by the County Commission of Madison County in Tennessee, meeting in regular session on this 22nd day of February 2022, that Section 1, the General Purpose School Fund shall transfer up to $3 million to the Federal Projects Fund by June 30th of 2022. Section 2, the estimated $3 million transfer shall remain in the Federal Project Fund as a committed fund balance for the General Purpose School Fund and may be repaid at any time as noted in the resolution by the County Commission. Section 3, this resolution will take effect February the 22nd, 2022. The county clerk shall include this resolution in the minutes of Madison County. And then if it's adopted, it'll be adopted on this 22nd day of February 2022.
Let me give some explanation to this. As you know, the ESSER funds are a reimbursable grant, and Dr. King and the school board has approved the purchase of the JASA building, the old Circuit City, and that's going to be about $1.8 million. Also, the ESSER funds has now paid back the general purpose fund in the amount of $1.2 million for salaries that were budgeted in ESSER, and since it's a reimbursable, this is to cover that until the reimbursements come back, and then that transfer will be, make the general purpose school fund whole.
Commissioner Coffman.
Mr. Chairman, since this isn't on the agenda, I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules to take this up.
Have a motion to suspend the rules, second by Commissioner Hale. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? None. Commissioner Hale.
Motion to adopt the resolution as written.
Have a motion to adopt the resolution. Commissioner Brown seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Thank you.
That's it. Item number 11, report from county officials, standing and special committees, old business action thereof by this board. Commissioner.
The excess resale property committee met February 9th. like last meeting or 2 meetings ago, we had a lot to cover. We've got a lot today, which is a good thing, which means we're putting properties back on the roll, so it's a good thing.
Doing a good job.
Can I read all of these and then we'll take them all at one time? Is that fine?
You can.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we read them all.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
All right, 46 Hickory Hollow Drive, in the amount of $1,771.34. Hickory Hollow Drive, we've got a parcel number in the amount of $1,500. Hickory Hollow Drive, an additional parcel number in the amount of $1,500. Another Hickory Hollow Drive, parcel number in the amount of $1,500. 215 Plainsville Place for $3,000. Red Leaf Place with a separate parcel number for $1,500. 140 Iris Drive for $1,325.46. 224 Hatton Street for $2,000. 142 West Park Place for $1,582.88. 144 West Park Place for $2,329.94. 129 North Royal Courts for $1,158.72. 131 North Royal Courts for $1,081.22. 863 North Royal Street for $2,554. Elizabeth Street with a parcel number for $1,263.02. Elizabeth Street for $1,213.64. 329 Lindsay Street for $1,273.10. An additional Lindsay Street property for $1,273.10. 471 Lexington Avenue for $2,500. 231 Oak Street for $1,000. And 15 Chambly Cove for $1,657.50. Yeah, committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. And I may mention the fact that, Brent, you guys are doing a great job. The process has been so improved that you've speeded things up, and I believe more money is coming in.
I think so.
Yeah, good. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, the Highway Committee met last Friday to take up a couple of items. All y'all should find a navy blue folder in front of your desk there. That's the 2022 highway road list. The committee did recommend adopting the road list in that folder.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? No discussion about the road list? That's unusual. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
The committee also took up the items of doing the improvements out at Fred Young Park for Parks and Recreation. One was the driveway entrance improvements. The other was chip sealing of the driveway and parking lots. And we did recommend to go ahead and do that.
At what cost?
Where's Bart? There he is.
So this is a separate item from the budget amendment we'll talk about later.
Right.
But I believe, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe the estimated cost to chip seal the driveway and the parking lots was about $67,000. And then the estimated cost to improve the driveway entrance to make the turning radiuses a little bit larger was
$295. Right.
Yeah, that was with the bathrooms and stuff in there.
Bathrooms too.
But I think it was another $75,000 or something like that.
But this is not part of that. I mean, we're
Not part of the $300,000 that
Right,
we're going to talk about.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wall.
Mr. Chairman, the Cable and Communications Committee met on the 31st of January, and they are coming to us now with they actually came and discussed a possible broadband grant funding for Madison County, $4.6 million, and is asking Madison County to contribute for Wi-Fi to be added throughout the county. When in this, and you'll see the map on the board here, the yellow areas, I'll remind my colleagues here on the commission that back in September, when they came to ask us about being a broadband-ready community, They were going into the Beach Bluff area, which is the yellow active construction area of the county. They are about 80% complete with that already, and they are coming now because it's time for them to seek grants again from the state to actually the peach color or whatever that color is there around the rest of the county would cover the rest of the county, which affects just about every other district in the county. They're about 80% complete with the yellow, which is the Beach Bluff area. And Mr. Billy Gordon is here with us today to answer any questions that you may have. But what they have is a rubric from the state that allows them to apply for grant funding. And the one thing that they have on the list that they brought to us that carries a considerable weight on the rubric is leveraged and matched funds. Now the thing is that these funds, there is no minimum for the match. So what the committee recommended was a resolution that you've also got in your packet that that would allow for the county to pledge a minimum of the smaller of 10% of the grantee share of the project cost, or $150,000, provided sufficient ARPA funds are available to the county, which we checked with Karen, and they are. And that's what the committee would recommend, is that we, do we have that resolution as well? I know it's in the packets. It's a resolution in the packets for the cable and broadband for Madison County, for the remainder of Madison County, that would obligate the smaller of 10% of the grantee share of the project cost, for $150,000. These funds would come out of the ARPA funds and would not come out of the general funds of the county.
That's the committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Insurance Committee met on February 15, 2022. Our current balance is $2,096,913.37, which is still pretty healthy. We did have a lot of claims, but I think we're staying steady. One of the things we've looked at and we haven't taken action on, we're still looking at it, is increasing the match, the total match on what we're doing for each individual employee. Just for information, we have 260 employees that are still on TCRS. We have 174 that are participating in the normal contribution match, and 40 employees that are participating in Roth. So just making you aware of sort of where our, we're moving away more from TCRS, that we're moving in that direction. So that's all I have to.
Commissioner Thompson.
Mr. Chairman, Audit Committee met on February the 8th, and two things just want to bring up in front of the body is Ms. Bell did talk about our state audit that came back, and we had one finding. Do you want to say anything? I mean, it was a very clean audit, but I'll let her just talk about the one finding.
We almost achieved perfection. There was one finding, which was the reconciliation of the health insurance account, and with the transition in personnel from HR to finance, it fell through the cracks, but that has been resolved and it is being reconciled in the finance department now. And we're not quite sure, it may not have ever been reconciled and just balanced. They're not quite sure. They have not received it, but anyway, that has been resolved for the next year, and we are working toward perfection.
So great job by Karen and her staff and all of our department heads in the county for the almost perfect audit this year from the state. Secondly, I want to recognize our internal auditor, Billy Burkhead, for his annual report to this body.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Bill.
Mr. Chairman, the Audit Committee did meet this month, and a couple of very positive things I'll report on it. We lowered our purchase order delinquency rate from 15 to 8%, which what does that mean exactly? Well, last year the Audit Committee set the rate at 15%. Part of what I do is review purchase orders from each department. And if there's any type of issue or error in that purchase order, it counts as a delinquency. So if that hits above 15%, that's when I call and contact that department and work with them to try to fix that, and what can we do to help lower that rate. Well, we lowered it to 8%, so that tells you we're moving in the right direction, and the departments are doing a fantastic job. Finance is doing a fantastic job in educating those departments. So it's really moving in the right direction. The other thing I want to report on is the inventory system. We've been talking about that for several years, and Ms. Bell here has definitely mentioned it's up and running. I started using the system about 2 months ago, and I really like it. All the information's in there. It's easy for me to generate a report to randomly select items when I visit these departments twice a year. And I can tell you, Finance has done a fantastic job of tracking it, and each department has really done a really good job of managing their inventory. They've got on board with this, and it's just been a really good experience with it. That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions.
Any questions? Commissioner Hale.
Yes, sir. Monday, February 14th, Personnel Committee met, and we bring in 2 recommendations to the body for consideration. The first one is concerning the Brady Act that the state adopted that we need to be following. And what we've done is this act is for firefighters to establish a base level screening of their health that we have worked with our partners at West Tennessee Healthcare to come up with a fee structure that is very affordable. This is something that is easily adopted in that it's required by us to do, by the state. And so we're bringing a recommendation to adopt and follow the Brady Act and the billing requirement that is comes along with it. This comes as a committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Yes, sir. The next one is involving the handbook, the employee handbook. We were wanting to establish a baseline for what the recommendation for what a full-time employee is and how many hours that person works. This has kind of been, in the years past, it's been all over the place, but we're wanting to make sure what is being done matches our the way we operate and the way the handbook reads. And so the original motion that was brought forth, and I'm going to give you a little history of what happened in committee so you can understand the shifting of what's about to happen. We originally made a motion to make that hourly requirement 37.5 hours. And that was amended in committee to allow for the library staff to not be affected because they're at 35 hours right now. What we've later learned is that the county employees, the library employees are not county employees. And so we don't have to address their issue in our handbook. And so right now, the recommendation, which we'll deal with here in a second, is coming from committee, is for full-time employees to be considered at 35 hours worked. So that's coming as a committee recommendation.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes, I have a request for clarification, Mr. Attorney. Would this be applicable to every department that receives county funds such as constitutional office and everything is where is it enforceable on everybody that receives county funds?
It would fall underneath county employees who are employed by the county, but the constitutional officers are separate, so it wouldn't impact the sheriff's department. Their employees have their own separate policies that they
Are the
follow.
registered deeds, but none of them?
Right.
Commissioner, what you were saying was that originally we had.
Right, so it was amended in committee
Yeah.
to 35 hours so we could help protect the budget issue that was being caused by 37.5 for the library, which we've now learned isn't an issue. And so if I'll kind of yield my time to
Commissioner Stevens.
I lose for the library, it's a moot point because they're not employees of the county.
That's right.
So I'd like to make a motion that we amend that motion and just do the 37.5 and eliminate the.
Have a motion to amend. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second?
Very good. So sorry, go ahead.
Let me vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
So restating the motion is that the handbook would consider full-time employees, those employees that work 37.5 hours or more. That is the motion.
Have a motion. Have a second. Second, Commissioner Brown. Any other discussion? You know what you're voting on. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. No more committee reports? Item number 12. Any amendments or transfers to general fund, school department, capital project, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service budget for fiscal year 2020-21. Commissioner Johnson.
Fund 141, general purpose schools, item 1, $8,925, budgeted insurance recovery money.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Fund 177, item 2, $1,000 to allocate funds donated for the building of a new therapy barn at Liberty School.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Insurance recovery, item 3, health rabies control, $800, received check from insurance for fence repair.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 4, $1,020 reimbursement for live training, live fire training.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 5, sheriff, $18,695.04, pricing refund, DEA, OT reimbursement, internet refund.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 6, $27,028.33, insurance recovery on Total Explorer and Tahoe.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 7, sheriff, $1,582.71, insurance recovery for repairs on unit 5089 2021 Ford Interceptor.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 8, sheriff, $57,700, setting up collaborative crisis grant.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 9, $80,000, setting up body worn camera grant.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 10, health department, WIC, $53,300, increasing revenue to include the peer counseling grant and aligning to estimated expenses.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 11 through 18 are pretty much the same thing. Mr. Chairman, I move that we take all of those at one time.
Have a motion, have a second? Second. Have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
All right, item 11 is health department, $5,200. Item 12 is health department, chronic disease, $1,590. Item 13, health department, health promotions, $2,500. Item 14, tobacco cessation, $12,600. Item 15, health department, tobacco use prevention, $2,000. Item 16, rape prevention, $600. Item 17, $808,400. Item 18, health department, local direct, $4,500.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 19, Madison County Drug Court, $2,865. Changes made to align with state budget.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 20, Public Defender, $2,000, aligning budget with grant contract.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 21, EMA, $14,405, moving of funds from vehicles to equipment.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 22, $29,529.50, moving of funds from equipment to motor vehicles.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 23, Sheriff, $43,000, reallocating funds to correct classifications.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? Commissioner Stevens.
Just explain that to me about correcting the classification. I'm not real sure what that is.
I don't have that in front of him. Gary actually surgery down
What it is, they have a line item called in-service staff development, one called in-service training, and so they're just shifting the funds between those two line items for classification.
Thank you.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 24, Juvenile Court Services, $12,000, emergency replacement of HVAC unit for detention.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 25, Finance County Departments, $250,824.50, additional premium pay for Sheriff's Department first responders.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 26, Finance County Departments, $250,824 transfer for premium pay.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 27, Finance County Department, $16,147.50, additional premium pay for first responders.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 28, Finance County Departments, $13,456.25, additional premium pay for first responders.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Finance County Departments, $82,352.25, additional premium pay for first responders.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 30, Finance County Departments, $350,036.30, transfer for premium pay.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 31, Finance County Departments, $311,015.86, premium pay for employee reclassification.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 32, Finance County Departments, $39,020.44, premium pay for reclassification.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 33, Election Commission, $2,750, requesting to purchase more voter registration cards because of precinct moves.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 34, Election Commission, $5,161.39. Overtime pay for full-time and part-time workers that worked early voting and election day, and day of days pertaining to the election.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Commissioner Brown?
Is Ms. Laura here, next director?
No.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 35, Information Technology, $3,995. Election added a new color copier and replaced 2 old copiers.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
We have one additional amendment that came in this past Friday, and the Finance Committee did not act on it. Mr. Chairman, I move that we suspend the rules.
Have a motion to suspend the rules?
Make a motion.
Have a second by Commissioner Alexander. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Now, I just saw this morning. I don't know exactly what it pertains to. I don't know whether it pertains to what we've already voted on from the Parks Department or not, but it's for $300,000 total debits, 300,000 total credits.
Commissioner Wall?
Thank you.
You just get promoted?
Yeah, just got a promotion. So this budget amendment is different than what we voted on a few minutes ago from the Highway Department, from the Highway Committee. What was voted on earlier was actually to approve the Highway Department to do work for the Parks and Rec Department to satisfy, our legal requirements so that we can legally do work for another department. This budget amendment is for the Parks and Rec Department, and Chris can jump in here and talk a little bit about it too, but the $300,000 is to cover the Highway Department's costs for revising the driveway entrance to enlarge it a little bit so that horse trailers and things can turn in there, and also to improve or to chip seal the driveway all the way to the back of the park and the parking lots.
But you mentioned this is not just a temporary fix, this will fix the problem.
Yeah, right. And so that is what, 165,000 of the 300,000, and the other 135,000 of the 300 is for some bathroom improvements and modifications, and Chris can maybe speak to that.
Commissioner Compton.
Mr. Chairman, this is it's pertaining to the project again at Fred Young that we have talked about over the last 3 months ad nauseum on the project, and the $300,000 is what it's going to take to get the project to a usable spot. We can complete the project as is, but if we do, and we do not do anything to the entrance or the road, and we don't do anything to the bathrooms, we're going to have invested almost $800,000 of county money at that time, plus the $500,000 match with an unusable project. The state says the bathrooms are adequate, but if we have 500 people out there with 2 stalls, 2 urinals in the men's bathroom, people are going to come one time, and that's going to be it after waiting for the bathroom for hours. So at this point, we went through all the numbers, and Property Committee and Audit Committee reviewed. The bottom line was that the way the grant process went down by using Southwest for the grant, and Southwest was communicating with one person and one person only, which was our former Parks and Rec director, that these items were just left out of the bid and left out of the grant. For what reason, I have no idea, but it wasn't reviewed. Our former Parks and Rec director left it out and failed to communicate that with anyone before it went out for bid. So here we are, and the 2 things that we need to get done are the entrance and the roadway that Bart can work, on and the restrooms. And I'll let Chris add anything that if.
Let me get it, I need a motion to suspend the rules.
We already did that.
We already suspended the rules, okay.
But you don't have them for the motion, if you need one.
Well, yeah, I'll make a motion that.
We got to vote on this, we didn't vote.
Yeah, we did.
No.
We suspended, we voted on suspension.
Yeah, we suspended.
We already did on
Yeah,
this.
we suspended the rules, but we don't have a motion. on
I'll
the
make a
floor.
motion that we approve the 300,000 coming out of the capital fund balance for these projects.
Have a motion, second.
Second.
Commissioner Taylor.
I've had some concerns about this. We're gonna be able to finish up and get the grants. It's gonna be usable. It's not gonna be optimal, use right now. I kind of wanted to wait a year to see what kind of traffic flow we're gonna have out there before we put another $300,000 into it. I think you said we had 7 horse shows last year?
Yes.
We're gonna sink $1 million into this thing. And it's usable for this year. Can we get by and see what happens? I mean, I just don't see putting more money into it right now.
So on the bathrooms, just to give y'all clarification, I went and got bids for building a brand new bathroom on those locations, and that cost comes in at close to $350,000 to $400,000. So my other option was to reach out to construction companies to refurbish the bathrooms that we have, and that came in at around $135,000. So for refurbishing instead of building brand new, demolition and all that, that's why that number is low, because we're gonna keep the building. They're gonna remove some internal walls, give us enough, I think 6 toilets in the women's, 2 toilets in the men, and 2 urinals, I think is the exact number. And that's why that number is lower, because it's refurbishing and updating what we have.
Well, the entranceway, without doing this, you can't use it, correct?
The entrance, I mean, the entrance is too narrow because it's got curving on either side and a median in the middle. For those large trucks, they have to make a wide berth. They can, if they were lined straight up on, they could pull straight in. But making that turn, they're going to jump the curb and just destroy any curving we have if we don't widen that entrance.
Commissioner Cobb.
And I will, Ms. Bell, what is our current fund balance and capital fund balance that we have?
$933,000.
So we currently have $933,000 in our capital fund balance that was held over, that wasn't allocated by the capital committee or in our budget for emergencies. And we're setting in February, and that's where these dollars are going to come from. So we still have well over $500,000 in capital fund balance for other emergencies if this is allocated.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Johnson.
Question.
Roll call.
Just call for the question.
Commissioner Brown.
Hold on, are we voting on the call for the question, or are we voting on the actual motion?
We vote on the motion.
Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Beckham.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Brantley.
Yes.
Brown Claudel.
Yes.
Brown Scott. Bryant.
Yes.
Cleek. Yes. Compton.
Yes.
Heaton.
Yes.
Ellison. Gobble.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Hampton Pearson.
Yes.
Johnson Arthur.
Yes.
Johnson Barber. Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Yes.
Petty. Spearman. Stevenson.
Yes.
Taylor.
No.
Wall.
Yes.
Anybody want to change their vote?
Mr. Chairman, I heard 19 yes, 1 no, 5 absent.
19 yeses, 1 no, 5 absent, motion passes. Commissioner Johnson.
There were 2 other things that came out of the Finance Committee. The majority voted to send option 4, the Pope School thing, to the Budget Commission for their study and input. And then we voted to have a special call meeting the 24th at 8:30 of the Finance Committee.
Finance Committee meets at 8:30 on the 24th.
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning to discuss this. And will we have our bond man there? He will be. Good. That's it. Item number 13, report from the county mayor.
I'll be brief, Mr. Chairman. There was a meeting of the Detention Center Subcommittee of the Long Range Planning Committee. And the committee voted to move forward with an RFP. Is it RFP or RFI? RFQ. Very similar to what we did when we started with the jail way back when. To put out an RFQ, get a firm involved with us to help us put our arms around the needs, where it might be put, how it might be constructed, so on and so forth. Rather rough one out, we hope to get that out maybe within the next week. Get the RFQ out within the next week.
You've already got it, so it's up to you.
Okay, we'll get it out the next week. Also, just one point on the broadband y'all voted on. That is really important, like Ryan was talking about, the infrastructure moving forward with Blue Oval City and what's going to occur. And broadband is one thing that we learned, did we not? Dr. King is not, it's a requirement, I guess you'd say, certainly for education because of the issues they went through during our COVID center. But also, I think we will have, I think, quite a bit of involvement with the western part of the county with new homes, businesses, things like that because of Blue Oval City. So I think that's a really important thing. I think, Billy, you can correct me, but you think you will have rural Madison County covered in 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, 2 years is our goal if we can get this grant.
And that's a really big issue, I tell you. The other thing, just remember, I understand Dennis Henderson died this morning or yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday.
Dennis has been a real member of this community for many years. Just had heart issues for a number of years and couldn't overcome them. But you keep him in your prayers. He's been a really good Madison County citizen. Last thing is, we have a celebrity in our midst. Just to reiterate, our Health Department Director, Kim Tedford, was named Woman of the Year last week.
Item 14, we've already covered. Item number 15, possible approval of the 226 reappraisal plan.
Mr. Chairman, I so move. We have no choice.
Have a motion? Second. Any other discussion? No discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Who seconded? I did.
Joey has. Item number 16, consideration of a resolution to approve agreement with the Jackson Authority to provide telecommunications service for the Madison County Sheriff's Department. That was a committee recommendation from. We ain't voted on it. Did we vote on it? No. It was a recommendation by the Finance Committee. So it's committee recommendation, there's no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 17, possible acceptance of resignation for the Conservation Board from Minnie White.
Mr. Chairman, Mandy submitted that back in July. It was just never brought to this board. So make a motion to approve her resignation.
Second. Motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. We've already handled number 18. Item number 19, appointment of 5 members to the Budget Committee by this body, 1-year term. Doug Stevenson, Jason Compton, Mike Taylor, Morris Love, and 1 attorney incumbent. Commissioner Stevenson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're replacing Warner Turner with Greg Parsons. You should have his resume in your packet. We're really excited about Greg adding Warner's. We need to continue to pray for Warner's health. He's having some health issues, but we appreciate all his service all these years. But place will-
Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we.
Motion by Mr. Stevenson, second by Mr. Beckman. Any other discussion? Commissioner Hale.
So the motion is to reappoint everyone except for
One attorney, Greg Parsons.
with Greg. Good.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 20, appointment of one member to the West Tennessee Training Center Oversight Committee by Capital Committee. 1-year term, Jason Compton and Compton.
We'll push that to the next meeting.
We've been doing that for a while.
We have.
Item number 21, appointment of one member to the West Tennessee Training Center Oversight Committee by Budget Committee with this, approve this body 1-year term, Doug Stevenson.
We need to table that also.
Need to table it also. Number 22, appointment of one member to the Adult Oriental Established Board by County Mayor. Approve this body 4-year term, come be a key incumbent.
Recommend reappointment, Mr. Chairman.
So moved.
Have a motion?
All at once.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second, Commissioner Wall. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 23, appointment one member to the Vicious Dog Hearing Panel by County Mayor. Approve this body 3-year term, Dr. Ellie Denning, vet incumbent.
That's Ellen Deming, and it is required to be a vet. She has agreed to serve, so I recommend reappointment.
So moved.
Have a motion? Do I have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Appointment of one member, of 3 members to the Audit Committee by this body, a 3-year term, Jason Schultz, Jim Campbell, Mike Taylor, incumbent.
Move to reappoint.
Have a motion to reappoint, a second by Commissioner Hale. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 25, appointment of 8 members to the Risk Management Safety Committee by the Insurance Committee. A 1-year term, got Gary Deaton, Kim Tedford, Doug Stevenson, Tom Rutter, William A. Hampton Pearson, Luther Mercer, Chris Guerin, Camille Key, Jason Moore, and Eric Turner incumbent.
I'd like to make a motion to approve all those.
Have a motion to approve, have a second, Commissioner Brown. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Election of Notary Public. Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Hale. Number 27, any and all matters related to,
They didn't vote on 26 yet.
all in favor, we didn't vote on 26, okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 27, any and all matters related to connected with matters set forth in items 1 through 26. Commissioner Hale.
Just one quick point. We've got some folks in support of the Pope project and the funding of it here with us. I just wanted to recognize them as they're here of their own free time, both parents and PTO members, and so I appreciate you showing up in support of the funding of Pope. I think everyone in this room is supportive of it. We just got to figure out the details, and so looking forward to the Thursday meeting, and hopefully you can attend then. Thank you.
Move adjourned. Second. Have motion adjourned, roll call.
Alexander. Arnold. Beckham. Fine. Brantley.